before we get started in the lesson, there's something we need to briefly discuss about what's coming after Ezekiel. And I thought we had some agreement about Acts until I looked at the quarterly, and the next two of the next 3 quarters are in Acts on Sunday morning. So that kind of changed my mind. Would you all agree to take a look at Hebrews?
Yes. That's in the spring.
Wow.
That's in the spring.
Okay.
That's in the spring.
Hebrews? I might be able to finish it before then. All right, let's go with Hebrews. Okay, Ezekiel 47 verses are about, after we got through the previous chapter, was about all of the priestly rules and regulations about the sacrifices and the kitchens and so on and so forth. In chapter 47, we now find a river flowing from the east door at the inner court and flowing all the way out to the east of the outer door of the temple and all the way down to the Arabah and then down to the Dead Sea. And everywhere this river goes, it brings what? Life. Everything it touches brings life. Fruitfulness of the trees that spring up along the side that Ezekiel was instructed to take a look at. And verse 12, all kinds of trees providing food will grow at both sides of the river. Their leaves will not wither and their fruit will not fail. Each month they will bear fresh fruit because the water comes from the sanctuary. Their fruit will be used for food and their leaves for medicine. Now, it speaks of, where does it speak of those marshy places where it does not run? Oh, verse 11. All the places that the water does not touch are still sick. The Hebrew word for hold on, my mind just gone completely blank. Well, anyway, maybe that train will come back, but it's taken off. Okay, if you'll, I hope verse 12 rings a bell with you, because in Revelation, last chapter of the New Testament, we find this. Then he showed me the river of the living water, sparkling like crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb, down the middle of the broad street of the city. On both sides of the river was the tree of life, bearing 12 kinds of fruit, producing its fruit every month. The leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nations. And I wonder if John had Ezekiel in mind, and the Holy Spirit did when he dictated or wrote these words, because in Revelation, I think it speaks of the blessings that are come from God for the people, His people, and then down through the buried and the dead places. The good news is to be taken to change that area to something that would be fruitful. Let's see. Let's go to verse 13. This is what the Lord God says. Now we're through the river. Now we're going to look at the details of the borders of the Holy Land as seen by Ezekiel. This is what the Lord God says. This is the border that you will use to divide the land as an inheritance for the 12 tribes of Israel. Joseph will receive 2 shares, you will inherit it in equal portions, since I swore to give it to your ancestors. So this land will fall to you as an inheritance. Now, Joseph is receiving 2 shares because of what? Reuben was the firstborn of Jacob. Reuben was the firstborn. But he forfeited his birthright because of his sin. And the double portion that I guess you could say the double portion that would normally go to the firstborn is being distributed between Joseph's 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. And sometimes Manasseh and Ephraim were named in some places to replace Levi, who is not mentioned. It all depends upon the place. Now in verse 14, it tells us that this land allotment is going to be in equal portions. That's the way Moses did it, right? Wrong. Moses did not do it that way. Let me show you the verse of how Moses was instructed to do it. The land is to be divided among them as an inheritance based on the number of names. Increase the inheritance for a large tribe and decrease it for a small one. Each is to be given its inheritance according to those who were registered in it. The land must be divided by lot. They will receive an inheritance according to the names of their ancestral tribes. Each inheritance will be divided by lot among the larger and smaller tribes. This idea of the land being inherited in equal amounts, I mean equal amounts, exactly, at least as far as the north-south size of it is concerned. I find difficult from some interpretations to accept that, because you would normally think that they would give a large tribe like Judah or Manasseh or Ephraim a larger portion of land. The smaller tribes like Benjamin, Naphtali, Asher, and Gad are much smaller than the tribe of those 3 that I just mentioned. But nevertheless, for the purposes of our vision, that's the way it was seen as being divided up. And I hope I've got a map here. Yes, this is the original allotment under Moses. As you can see, they are not by any means the same size. For instance, this little portion right here is for Dan. That little portion right there, the yellow one, is for Benjamin. But this large green portion at the bottom is for Judah, except right smack in the middle of Judah is the tribe of Simeon. But you can see that there's nothing. Now look at the size of Manasseh, who decided this and this. Yes, half the tribe decided to settle over on the east side of Jordan, the other half on this side. There's Reuben's allotment under Moses. But anyway, I just brought that map up to show you that there's no way that those allotments back under Moses are anything like the allotments that are going to be supposedly laid out. Okay, this is Ezekiel's land allotment. According to most of the maps that I could find of the quote authority. What you will notice is that this is greatly different from the previous map. the two outlines are nowhere near the same. And, if you will look at the country, you can see that down here in the south, is it wider than it is up here? Using the Jordan River as the line of division, which is equal to us. No, it's about 3 times as wide here than it is here. Which I also found, remarkable. Let's go to verse 15. This is to be the border of the land. On the north, it will extend from the Mediterranean Sea on the west by way of Hethlon and Lebo Hamath, which means the entrance to Hamath, or the road leading from the south up into the city of Hamath. So it's where the entrance starts between two mountain ranges, two small mountain ranges. It will extend from the sea to a place called Zedad, Berotha, and Sebrahim, which is between the border of Damascus and the border of Hamath, as far as Hazor, Hadakon, which is on the border of Huron. If you don't know what these mean, don't feel bad, because I couldn't find much on any of them. We do not know the precise locations of hardly any of these places. So it's going to be a little bit difficult for us to figure out the exact northern border. Verse 17, so the border will run from the sea, being the Mediterranean Sea, at the border of Damascus. I think Damascus is on there. Yeah. Where is Damascus? Right there. There. With the territory of Hamath to the north, this will be the northern side. But like I said, most of the places are completely unknown. We know roughly where they are. There's Hamath. Way up there.
Syria. Is that Syria?
Syria is, most of this area over here is Syria.
I was thinking Hamath was a city in Syria.
If you're not, or this is the Sea of Galilee, I mean the Sea of Galilee right here, and that's the Dead Sea down at the bottom. Okay, and I'm not going to get bogged down on places I don't know where they are. Okay, we can get it. This is from Charles Ellicott's map, who's somebody that is well worth reading, by the way. This is his map of what Ezekiel's land looks like. There is no bulge over here. It goes straight up. Right up here, and then over.
But the bulge doesn't make sense because they all got equal portions.
Yes. To me, this map makes more sense than that other one, which is a lot newer. But every one I've found from all of the authorities were like the other one. Except for this old one, Charles Ellicott's been dead for 150 or 200 years. But this map makes more sense because the land follows this path all the way over. I mean, all the way north and then over to the Mediterranean Sea on the west.
Lloyd,
Yes.
as far as equal portions, to me, it'd be fair to say, if they're really saying the same thing, where in numbers it divides it out, it says more land for more people. Really, it's equally by person, but still, it's equity by person, rather than equity by tribe. So to me, that still makes sense that they say equally.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
It's the first thought that came to my mind.
Okay. Good, Corey. 18. On the east side, it will run between Haran and Damascus along the Jordan. We're looking north to south. Between Gilead and the land of Israel, you will measure from the northern border to the eastern sea. This will be the eastern side. On the south side, it will run from Tamar to the waters of Meribah Kadesh and on to the brook of Egypt as far as the Mediterranean Sea. This will be the southern side. On the west side, the Mediterranean Sea that's the only thing everybody agrees on. You can't argue about the location of the Mediterranean Sea. I don't think. From the southern border up to a point opposite Lebo Hamath. Now, let's go back to Charles Elliot's map, because the land which the 2.5 tribes originally inherited on the east side of the river is no longer part of Ezekiel's vision. It has been cut out. And it ran, see, there's Gilead. It was out in this area here. But the River Jordan is the eastern border. So those 2.5 tribes that were over there is no land allotment for that any longer. Now from north to south has been estimated. Keep that word in mind, at just under 250 miles. Okay? And that's probably fairly close. It says on the south side, on the east side, it will run between, along the Jordan. Of course, he's talking about down here, the Jordan River, and down here. And I think the next verse has got Tamar. Yeah. I don't know if it's on that other map or not. It does. Okay. The southern border starts at Tamar, right below the Dead Sea, and runs this way, and then follows that. What's it got? River of Egypt. Should say. It's called in verse 19. It's called the brook of Egypt, which is this right here. It's called a wadi still today, and it means it's usually dry, but in the rains it will run temporarily, and basically though it's usually a dry river bed. And that is easy for everybody to find. Here's Kadesh Barnea. What happened there? Remember, isn't that where he set out the spies? And they came back with the they had the report. So it's pretty easy to get the south. Tamar, Kadesh Barnea, and this wadi, the river of Egypt, the brook of Egypt, on the south, and of course the west side, the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, verse 21. Holler if you want me to stop. Yes. John will have the answer. It was under Moses. You missed the part. There is a sacred allotment. We'll get there. We will get there for you. And by the way, speaking of John's location of that room was absolutely correct. Last week, I had it right. I had those narrow rooms attached to the north side of the temple, and you had it on the west wall. The west wall is correct. Okay. That's Ezekiel's land allotment. In verse 21, you are to divide this land between those 4 borders among yourselves according to the tribes of Israel. You will allot it as an inheritance for yourselves and for the foreigners living among you who have fathered children among you. You will treat them like native-born Israelites. Along with you, they will be allotted an inheritance among the tribes of Israel. In whatever tribe the foreigner lives, you will assign his inheritance there. This is the declaration of the Lord. Now, under Moses' law, foreigners could not acquire land except under one circumstance.
Proselytes.
They didn't have to be proselytes, I don't think. They could get it until the year of Jubilee. In other words, they could have temporary possession. But at the end, it would go back to the Jewish or Israelite family who owned it. Yes, they could sell it to anybody for that amount of time. Now, God contrasts what Ezekiel has to say here with what the law of Moses had to say. When a foreigner lives, this is back under the old law. When a foreigner lives with you in your land, you must not oppress him. You must regard the foreigner who lives with you as a native born among you. You are to love him as yourself, for you were foreigners in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Now that's very generous, but it was limited to the permanent inheritance of land. That was not allowed at all. And Isaiah, no foreigner who has converted to the Lord should say, quote, the Lord will exclude me from his people, and the eunuch should not say, look, I'm a dried up tree. For the Lord says this, for the eunuchs who keep my Sabbaths and choose what pleases me and hold firmly to my covenant, I will give them in my house and within my walls a memorial and a name better than sons and daughters. I will give each of them an everlasting name that will never be cut off. And the foreigners who convert to the Lord, minister him, love the Lord's name, and are his servants, all who keep the Sabbath without desecrating it, all who hold firmly to my covenant, I will bring them to my holy mountain and let them rejoice in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings will be acceptable on my altar, for my house will be called a house of prayer for all nations. Jesus quoted that in the New Testament when he cleaned house in the temple. For my house will be called a house of prayer for all nations. This is the declaration of the Lord God, who gathers the dispersed of Israel. I will give them to them still others besides those already garnered or already taken in. So the rules and regulations regarding foreigners will consider them the same as if they had been born Jewish people. The same rights to own land, to worship God in the same way, with no exclusions whatsoever, which is quite an accommodation for a Jew to admit, these are probably Gentiles, in on the same footing. But under this vision, I'm sorry?
But above, better than sons.
Better than sons and daughters, yeah. Okay, so if they have decided that they're going to live there, then they can inherit there just as their Jewish people can. Their Jewish people can. Verse 21. What did I lose? Verse 21? Oh. Oh, okay. I must have forgotten verse 22 and 23. No, there it is. What it says here in verse 22, speaking of who have fathered children among you, that indicates, as far as Ezekiel is concerned, that they have permanently settled in their place. That's what that phrase refers to. They are having children there they intend to stay there and raise their children there with the Jews.
Of course, these are intermarriages that Ezra and Nehemiah
Strictly for Balaam.
jump up and down about.
Yes.
They have to clean house themselves
Yes.
not too long in the future.
No. No.
So this is a vision.
Yeah, chapter 48. Now we're going to look at the land a little bit closer and hopefully answer your question. Now these are the names of the tribes from the northern end along the road of Hethlon to Lebo-Hamath as far as Hazar-Enan, to the northern border of Damascus alongside Hamath, and extending from the eastern sea. The eastern side to the sea will be Dan, one portion. We'll look at the map in just a minute. Next to the territory of Dan, from the east side to the west, will be Asher, one portion. Next to the territory of Asher, from the east side to the west, that is each line, will be Naphtali. He will also receive one portion. Next to the portion territory of Naphtali, from the east side to the west, will be Manasseh, Joseph's son, one portion. Next to the territory of Manasseh, from the east side to the west, will be Ephraim, one portion. Ephraim is Manasseh's brother. Next to the territory of Ephraim, from the east side to the west, will be Reuben, one portion. Next to the territory of Reuben, from the east side to the west, will be Judah, one portion. And we will note that the tribes that came through Jacob's handmaids were given the outer portions, the farthest away from the sacred area, the temple, which resides in the middle of the allotments. Jacob's sons, by his two wives, Rachel and Leah, they get the privileged positions closer to the sacred center of the allotments, because the ones from the wives are considered in this situation superior to the ones that were born through the concubines or the handmaids, servant ladies of the two wives, Rachel and Leah. And again, I mentioned the three tribes that had settled on the east side of Jordan are now located over on the west side of Jordan, which is what the Lord intended for those in Moses in the first place. It was simply a concession that he granted to let those 2.5 tribes stay on the east side of the Jordan as long as they fought for the land.
So,
Yes.
do we ever know why Ephraim got east and west side?
They decided they liked the land. Oh, why he got two allotments?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember ever reading
I
why.
don't think I've ever heard that.
I haven't either.
Ephraim was put above Manasseh, so maybe it was because of that,
Yeah.
he crossed his hands and put Ephraim
Jacob
over
is,
Manasseh.
yeah. Okay, Dan, Asher, Naphtali, Manasseh, Ephraim, and Reuben. If you take this section over here as being correct, and I have my doubts and concerns about that, I like I said, Elephant's map, which has the border running more like this and over here. And then we get down to Judah, and this is the sacred portion that you, and we'll look at it closer too, okay? Dan, the first one on the north, the farthest away from the temple, was the 5th son of Jacob, and the first one born to Rachel's handmaid named Bilhah. So, born to her, you get way out. And another reason is the tribe was involved in the tribe of Dan was involved in this, and Judges, the Danites set up a carved image for themselves, and Jonathan, the son of Gershom, son of Moses, and his sons were priests from the Danite tribe until the time of the exile from the land. So they set up for themselves Micah's, and that's a story you'll have to look up, carved image that he had made, and it was there as long as the house of God was in Shiloh. So that was not a good reflection upon the tribe of Dan, helping to explain possibly why they were so far away. Now, let's see here. Yeah, I don't want to go to that one yet. Okay, Asher was the 8th son of Jacob by Leah's maidservant named Zilpah. There is no one of this tribe mentioned in the Old Testament. The only person that's mentioned coming from this tribe is Anna in chapter 2 of Luke. And she was a good one. She was a good one. Naphtali, the third one down. Oh my goodness, we are. I'm sorry. It's not correct. We will finish this next week, and then we will look at some of the various and sundry interpretations, and then we'll call it closed, and hopefully go into Hebrews after that. Let's pray. Lord, give us understanding as we look into your will, and help us to love each other as Jesus loved us and as you love us. And help us to thank you for the rain that we have recently received. Bless us as we leave. In Jesus' name, amen.